Jeff here, and today this is the part 2 tutorial on Isleward. First we are going to look at these runes here. There are 20 of them. There are 20 of them. And we're going to go through each and every rune. First up we have Ambush. Step into the shadows and reappear but behind your target before delivering a concussing blow. So this Ambush has a damage and a stun, and it takes 3 ticks to cast with 7 mana cost and a 15 ticks cooldown until you can cast again, and it can hit enemies with a 10 range. Next we have Smoke Bomb, which is commonly referred to SB, and it says envelopes the caster in a cloud of poisonous smoke, dealing damage to enemies every tick until it dissipates. It has a duration, which is the amount of ticks until the smoke bomb disappears. The radius, which can range from 1 to 3, most commonly it's radius of 2 smoke bombs, and a damage, which can range from like 0.25 or something to 1 point something. And it takes 6 mana to cast, 7 tick cooldown, and it's poison, just like Ambush. Next up we have Flurry, and this is the last Lynx rune. Grants a stack of Frenzy, greatly increasing your attack speed. It costs 10 mana, it has a 20 tick cooldown, and you can do it from 9 range, which I don't even know what that means because you cast it on yourself. So it has 10 duration, and it has a 31% chance to cast. Well, it can change depending on the level of this and the rarity, which I will get into later. Next up we have Charge, one of the best runes and my favorite. Charges at a foe, dealing damage and stunning them for a short period. You only need 3 mana to cast. It has a 14 tick cooldown, and you can hit it from 10 range. You can see the damage here. It ranges from 2 to 10, I think. I don't remember. And it has a stun duration, which, yeah. Next rune is Slash. Slashes performs a melee attack with your equipped weapon. 4 mana, 9 ticks cooldown, and 1 range. And the equipped weapon means your slash. So you deal damage based on the 6.42 damage of my slash right now. So I'll deal 6.42 damage multiplied by the strength, which is, and the physical increase here, which I don't have any because this is not my bear. Okay, next up we have the Whirlwind. This is a good rune for an owl, but it's a bear, so you need the Whirlwind plus a Virulent Cleaver, which I will get to in a minute. A Whirlwind says, you furiously spin in a circle, striking all foes around you. It costs 7 mana, 12 ticks cooldown, and it has 1 range, which means that you can hit one tile of enemies around you. I think it goes up to max of 2 range, which is like this. A cool thing about this, if you go to a wall with a 2 range Whirlwind, you can actually hit through the wall. If you have a 2 range, here. Give it a second, when it cools down. There it goes through the wall. This is my Virulent Cleaver Owl build, which is not supposed to be a thing, but it is, so yeah. I'll stash this. Next up we have Barbed Chain. It is used for pranking, and you can get it to 1 tick cast speed. It costs 7 mana, and has a 9 tick cooldown and 9 range. Hook a target with a barbed chain, pulling them into melee range, which is the opposite of charge. It has a stun duration and damage just like charge, but it's the opposite of it. And and it and it is 2 ticks to cast. Next up we have Harvest Life. It's a good rune for bear. Absorbs the life force of your enemies. It costs 5 mana, and you have to cast it again in a 10 ticks cooldown, and it has 1 range, meaning it's melee. There's a damage up to 15, I think, and heal up to 15 as well. Heal is the percent that you heal from the damage that you do, and damage is the amount of damage that you do, just like how you calculate it with slash. It's with the strength and physical increase. Next up we have the aura runes. Tranquility. This increases your mana regen. As you can see, when I activate it, it increases by 4, around 4. Grants an aura that regenerates mana for you and your allies in your parties. It reserves 25% mana. It has a 10 tick cooldown to cast again, and it's holy? What? Whatever. Yeah, it doesn't scale off anything. Next off, we have Swiftness. It's another aura rune. Grants an aura that grants increased movement speed to you and your allies. It has 40% reserved mana. It has a 8.4 chance to sprint. And its element is fire. I don't know why. Don't ask. So if I cast this rune, you can see my sprint chance increases to 8.4, just like it says right here. Next rune we have Innervation, another aura rune. Grants an aura that regenerates HP for you and your allies, same as Tranquility, 25% reserved mana, 10 tick cooldown, and regens 0.34. I cast it, and I get 2 HP regen compared to the 0. I think it multiplies by 5, but I'm not sure. I don't use Innervation. It's one of the worst runes, so yeah. Next up we have all these owl runes. First up is Magic Missile. Launches an orb of unfocused energy at your target. Costs 5 mana. Has a 7 tick cooldown, 9 range, and I think it's 5 ticks to cast. Oh yeah, those are DPT, which is damage per tick, which right now it's 169.58, which is not good at all. Well, may be good for a lower level, but not as a level 20, because this is not my build for an owl, or an owl at least. You can see on my list by pressing O here that I am Master of Fire, and my spear is Owl, but this build is a QQ Cleaver Owl, which I did not finish yet, because I was not bothered with it. Is one of the best runes for Owl. Yeah, next rune is Smite. That is one of the Owl stun runes. Calls down holy energy from the heavens upon your foe. Costs 7 mana to cast, 6 tick cooldown, and a 9 range. It stuns the enemy for a brief period of time, like 6 duration. It has damage as well. And it takes 3 to 4 ticks to cast. Next rune is Ice Spear. Next rune is Ice Spear here. A jagged projectile of pure ice pierces your target and slows his movement. Okay, so it costs 4 mana, 10 ticks cooldown, and 9 range. And it has a 7 freeze duration, which means that it freezes the enemy for 7 ticks, which slows it down for 7 ticks, I guess. Oh yeah, it's Frost Element. And Magic Missile is Arcane, I forgot to say that. And Smite is Holy. Next rune we have is Consecrate, which is run to cons. Most often, yeah. Creates a circle of pure holy energy that heals allies for a brief period. There's a build called a Bite Conzer. You use a Steel Claws Bite, which I will get into later. It has a duration just like Smoke Bomb, of 7 duration like this Consecrate, and it heals 0.3 multiplied by your strength and whatever your crit multiplier is, which is your damage on crit. Next rune is Fire Blast. It is not a very good rune, and I personally do not like it. It is, oh wait, I need to write this. Unleashes a blast of fire that damages and pushes back nearby foes. Not a very good rune. I would prefer, say, like Summon Skeleton to tank it for you, but whatever. It costs 5 mana, 4 tick cooldown, 1 radius, 2 pushback, which means that it pushes back enemies for 2 tiles. It has a radius of 1. I think it can have a radius up to 3. It's level 7, and it's magic, so, not good. It's fire element as well. Yeah, I do not like it. Fire Blast. Healing Touch. Restores health to a friendly target. Costs 8 mana, 5 tick cooldown, and you can cast it up to 9 range. You can of course heal yourself with Shift plus the rune number, or you can heal someone else by not pressing Shift and just healing them. So you can see this little glow here. Next rune we have here is Summon Skeleton. Summons a skeletal warrior to assist you in combat. 5 mana, 6 tick cooldown, and 9 range. I think damage percent and HP percent are, I do not know what those scale off of. Yeah, that's just a summon skeleton that I showed last video. And next rune. It takes 6 ticks to cast, I'm pretty sure. Next rune is Crystal Spikes. Jagged crystals break through the ground at your target destination. Costs 14 mana, which is a lot. It has a 15 tick cooldown, which you can't really cast very often, and 9 range. Well, the good thing about this is that it only has a delay of 1. It can have a delay up to 1 to 4, and quite a bit of damage, like up to 20, I think. So you can see, I can target like right here, and I can put the spikes through the ground in a 3x3 area. If I click this, it says target not in line of sight because there's this post here. So yeah, next rune is Taunt. Well, there is not a very good use of Taunt. Taunt a single target, causing them to focus their attacks on you for a short period. Costs 3 mana. It has a 12 tick cooldown, and you can cast it up to 9 range. And I have no one to cast it on because they're not butchers, but still, whatever. There. No. Yeah, there. That's Taunt. Makes them red. Very cranky rune, but whatever. Okay, we're done with the runes. Time for the next part. On to the weapons. Explain the weapons. These are base weapons on the sides, and the ones in the middle are special ones. And I do not have every single one, like the elemental sword I do not have, which is basically useless, so I did not get any. Okay, so we're going to start with a bow. A bow is a 2-handed slot weapon that has a 1 to 5% sprint chance on the implicit stat, and can roll stats on the base. Has damage. I do not know the thing. I should probably install that on later, but whatever. Nixos is Knock. This is a bow that drops from the endgame boss Nixilus, usually called Nyx. And this bow, yeah, I put a Strophnian bow skin on it. It can performing a role, cause a decoy to spawn at your position. And this does not work for Mogresh. Nixilus is Knock. This is another one. This is the base skin, what it looks like. Okay, next thing we have the spear, which is same thing. It's for lynx as well. It has dodge instead of sprint chance, and has a melee attack as well. This is a ranged projectile attack. Next one we have shield. These are offhands. This is a tome. It is either a spell crit chance or a spell crit multiplier. This is a brittle tome, and there's another one I forgot. It's like I don't have it. Yeah, I do. Ancient Tome. That's what it's called. Ancient Tome has a spell crit multiplier on it. Like this. It's in here. Okay, so we're going to start with shields. These gilded shields have 1 to 5 block, and wooden have 1 to 10, I think. Yeah. It has quite a bit of armor. This is a Nyx shield or a Tox Steel Bulwark. And it has a chance to block. Oh, it has a chance on block to apply a barrier that mitigates all poison damage for 12 ticks. That excludes Steel Claw's bite damage. The max is 19 chance to and 29 ticks. Shield of Luster. This is a very good shield, and I very much like it. It has some armor, some block, and the best part is, when charging, crystal spikes cast at your location that deal up to 9 physical damage. This is a 7 physical damage shield. Yeah, this is the best one. Eclipse, not very good because it's arcane. Still 1 to 9. Same thing. And I already explained this. Next one, Staff. Yeah, Staff is an owl. It's an owl weapon. Two-handed. These are all two-handed. Two-handed, two-handed, offhand, two-handed, and two-handed as well. It has projectile attack. Mana regen as implicit stat. Yeah, that's it. Axe attack crit multiplier as implicit. And it's melee. And as I said earlier, Virulent Cleaver goes very well with an owl plus a whirlwind, especially a 2-range one. And with some QQ, you can easily solo Est. Est as estuary. Oh, why can't I say that? Whatever. Okay. You should aim for spell crit chance and spell crit multiplier, as that is what the effect, life drain effect, scales off of. This is a very good weapon for late game, especially axe owls. Yeah, it can solo Mogresh pretty easily, but I never got one too. So, next one we have wands. It's an owl weapon. It's one-handed. These are all one-handed. It has a projectile attack, cast speed as implicit. A variant of it is a Corrupted Blossom. 22% chance for magic missile to hit an additional target, which means that there's a 22% chance that magic missile casts twice. This is not a very good CB, but yeah. Next one, dagger. This is just my random dagger that I found somewhere. It's for lynx, and it's a melee attack. It can attack very, very fast, short cooldown. Daggers, or crescent dagger, there's a chance for a smoke bomb to incur no cooldown, which means that you can cast smoke bomb twice in a row. Steel Claw's Bite, this is a example of a Steel Claw Bite. Obviously 20% is not very good unless it's for Khan's Owl. So I'll explain Steel Claw Bite right now. Okay, Steel Claw Bite makes your hits always crit, which means that you do not need any crit chance, and you can stock up on multiplier. This is especially very good for Khan's Owl, as you can heal without taking any damage, because healing does not count as damage. But you should not use a 20% in battle. You should aim for a 8% or 9% or at least a 10% to fight as like White Bear or something, I guess. Putrid Shank. This is a dagger that causes a 18% chance to cast a 1 damage smoke bomb on hit with a 1 radius as well. I forgot the duration on it, but whatever. This is a drop from Stinktooth, and I don't very like it, but still, it can be pretty good if you can max level it. Next up with the sword. I do not like the sword at all. It's a melee weapon for bear, but I rather prefer the sickle. These are sickles here. This has a 10.4% chance to kill on kill to summon a critter to assist you in battle. You can buy this stuff of gear from Inger, which I'll explain in another late game video. It has attack speed implicit. Not very good, but next one. Sickle. This is life on hit, which is good. It's another melee bear. It's another melee weapon for bear. It scales also off of both intellect and strength. And the variant of it is a Sunsicle, which has a 21% chance of charge to incur no cooldown, which means that you can cast charge twice. Sunsicle plus a Shield of Luster is very, very good. But I have not gotten a good Sunsicle yet, so that'll have to wait. Okay, so some of these things you might wonder where they're gotten from. This one has a 5% chance to drop from an albino serpent. These two are from Next, same with these two. This one is from the Japanese Embrace event, which is happening right now. It's March 7th. These shields of eclipses and luster, the crescent dagger, the sun sickle, and the elemental sword are all from the Pyramid of the Sun event or Pyre. There are no soul stuff right now, so yeah, that's the end of the video. Subscribe.